What's up everybody, SuperDorks fan here, and doing a part install video. It's been a long time since I've done one of these, but the guys at Boomba Racing were very nice and sent me a blow-off valve adapter for the Mustang EcoBoost. And they've been doing these for the Focus ST and the Fiesta ST and all that good stuff. And basically what it does is it turns your stock bypass valve, which all turbo cars have, into a blow-off valve. So it just basically puts a little gap in between the bypass valve there that'll cause it to vent whenever you lift off the throttle. And with the Ford cars, the way the ECU works in them, it's safe to do it because the air is measured and metered before it ever gets through there. So whenever you're venting its atmosphere, the car doesn't know any better. The car doesn't even realize. They don't know. It doesn't know where the air is going, so it doesn't screw up. With some Subarus, sometimes full vent atmosphere can screw up the cars a little bit, but with the Fords, the way their ECU works, it's totally fine. It doesn't harm the car. It doesn't give you any performance enhancements either, but it does give you a cool sound. So I'll just show you what they included in the box here. So you have your little valve here, and this is what it looks like. And basically, it's, you know, like I said, it just has a little rubber gasket, and that is what vents. And then in addition, of course, you have the three longer screws to go in the adapter, since the stock screws will be too short now that you have the extra gap. And those actually are, the tool that you'll use is an Allen key. So I have my Allen key here. It's 5mm, and it helps to have it in an extended socket. Of course, that way it's easier to get to, because it is a little tricky to reach. And in addition, they also sent me a Boomba Racing t-shirt, which is very kind of them. And they also included a bottle opener and then 2 stickers as well. So pretty nice of them. So I'm going to just do a voiceover of me installing it, but it's like, you know, it should be a 10 or 15 minute job. Very, very easy to do. And then I'll go take a little drive and show you guys how it sounds. Alright, so the first thing is just locating the bypass valve, which is right behind the coolant tank here, and as you can see there's lots of pipes and hoses running, so it's a pretty tight space to work in. Luckily I have fairly small hands, so it's easier for me, but if you have larger hands, you're probably going to have a little bit of an issue just fitting everything. But anyway, you first have to take off this sensor that's attached to the bypass valve here. And then once you do that, I actually decided to forego the extension on the 2 back screws here just because the wrench just did not fit with the extension. The angle and everything is very tricky. So I think about half of the install time was spent just finagling my wrench and trying out different angles to get it to fit and stuff. But you know, and then once you have it loosened up a little bit, you can use your fingers, and that makes it a little bit easier to get them out. And so yeah, there's 3 of them there, and you just take them out. Obviously the top one's the easiest here. You can, you know, that one's very easily exposed, and very easy to do with the extension on that one. Alright, so once you have them all unscrewed, then you can just pull the whole thing off, and that's how it looks. And so this is the factory bypass valve that you're still going to keep and use. So as you can see, the little Boomba Racing blow-off valve adapter fits on top here, and it's cut, the way the triangle is cut, in a very specific way, so you have to spin it around until you get it so it all matches up and lines up with the holes. So keep spinning it around, and eventually you'll find the perfect fit there. And then just like that, you put it back on the car the same way it came off. And now that it's actually, you have that extra spacer in there, it makes it even tighter to work in that area. So it was even harder putting it back on than it was taking it off. So again, just, you know, hand tighten them at first, all the different screws, and then you know, try and experiment with the different angles to find the way to put it on there right. And I made sure to tighten them up as well with the wrench, because you don't want to have any boost leaks or anything like that. So, you know, just go in there, tighten them all up, and it's definitely tricky. It helps to have, you know, like I had this pivoting wrench here, you know, with the wrench head and stuff. That helps. I tried a few different wrenches. That one worked the best though. And then you can, you know, of course, go and hand tighten each of them. And that back one, it's best to actually go around from behind instead of tackling it from the front there. But so once you get them tightened up, just use the wrench. And then you just reattach the sensor, of course. And this is how it looks whenever it's all on there. And here's some sounds of it. So as you can hear, the blow-off valve is on and working fine, and it's cool, you know. I mean, it's a love it or hate it thing. You're either gonna think on a Mustang this is totally wrong, it's bad enough it has a 4-cylinder, but now it has a blow-off valve. Other people though say, hey, run with the whole turbo thing. If it's gonna be a turbo, then hear all the turbo sounds. So you're either gonna love it or hate it. You definitely have to keep watching the weekly updates to see what my final decision is on it. I mean, I'm going to drive around with it on for a while just to get a good feel for it, and you know, maybe I'll keep it on, maybe I'll take it off. I don't know, but it is very cool. I mean, for 65 bucks from Boomba Racing, I mean, it's really cheap. So I mean, you know, blow-off valves can be several $100s, and of course that's what you need if you're going to be running much higher boost, and you need a blow-off valve that can handle it. But for stock or very close to stock boost levels, you know, this is fine and gives you that sound for next to nothing. So I mean, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm just gonna drive around here for another week or two, see how I feel about it, and I'll give updated impressions in the weekly updates. A few other things I'll comment on real quick though before I go is the sound level. Now, it's not too loud. I was worried it was gonna be super loud and obnoxious. This is actually a little bit on the subtle side. I mean, if I, you know, fly by someone and let off the gas, they're obviously going to hear it pretty loud. But for the most part, you know, driving around, it's not obnoxiously loud. And, you know, I had a 50/50 blow-off valve on my Legacy GT many years ago, and I really enjoyed that because it wasn't fully venting to atmosphere, so it wasn't super loud. This is just about the same volume, I think, as that 50/50, so it's not crazy overbearing. One thing, though, that's kind of funny about it, I wish there was a little bit of a higher tolerance, like maybe a higher spring rate or something, because even if I short shift, like, even if I'm shifting at 2,000 RPMs here, it still blows off. So I wish that, you know, if I'm going like, you know, heavy throttle and then it vents, that's fine. I mean, it's not quite as loud whenever it vents at 2,000 RPMs or whatever, but it still does vent. So sneaking out of my neighborhood, you still hear these But yeah, so again, you're gonna love it or hate it. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm very interested to hear what you guys all have to say about it. And thanks for watching. Huge thanks to Boomba Racing for hooking me up with it. Again, the link is in the description for all their, you know, info, and so you can go and buy one straight from their website there. And yeah, it's very high quality. You know, it's very solid and fits on perfectly. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.